any sector that you can think about today that fundamentally relies on the growth of an economy is always a sustainable business. And really that's where we were born. So growth has been good. We started off as 4. Business has now grown to, I think, over 300 people. And yeah, we just continue to push every day. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Now, you are in the investment market, in that field.
Yeah.
And so, how does it look like? Is there actually people in this country who have money ready in their pockets, ready to invest in especially a small business?
Yeah, so I think there are people ready to invest, but they're not there looking for you, which is, is the difference, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of people ready to invest. I mean, even when you talk about an investor, Joram alluded to it. What is now coming up in Kenya slowly is a more family office structure where there's actually high net worth individuals who are willing to back you. There are people with money in their pocket. The idea is, are you able to convince them that they should part with their money for you? Another culture problem we've always faced as an economy, in East Africa, Kenyans are very hardworking people. But when you compare us globally, we're not hardworking. We still have a lot of way to go. Consider ourselves very privileged. We want things given to us. And yet at the same time, we don't have a demand for services. People don't have a demand for customer service, a demand for excellence. So if you can be able to demonstrate that to an investor, you're going to be able to get capital. The investors are there. There's associations that have now been formed towards promoting SME financing. There's investors ready, you just have to be investable.
Okay. Yeah. And what does that mean? Like, I am a business and I'm ready to take off. What things should I be aware of so that I can be attractive to that investor? Maybe a checklist.
Yeah, so I guess that comes to the question now, what do investors look at when they want or when to invest in a business? The first thing is, obviously, like Joram alluded to, are you solving a problem? When you look at the market, what is the specific opportunity that you are solving? And can you tell it to me in one line? The first thing we look for is alignment. Is the business you are doing your plan A, B, C, D, E, all your plans, right? Is that what you are waking up to do? Is it what you are sleeping about? Because if it's not, I guarantee you no one will give you a second look. Because why on earth should I put my hands in my pocket and spend my time to give you capital and help you grow, yet when it fails, you have something else you're going to. I have nothing else I'm going to. The second thing is, there's a lot of great ideas. Everyone has an idea, right? But what have you done to execute your idea? If you come to an investment firm or an investor with an idea, no one cares, right? Your idea is good for you. Go and execute whatever you can, right? Then say that this concept works. Once it works, and you're demonstrating proof of concept, not in a big way, just like Joram said very rightly, if I can't sell you something for free, who on earth is going to pay for it? And no investor is here, though they'll tell you, yeah, we have economic, social, impact investing. It's fine, but if they're not making returns, they're no longer interested. And you, what have you done by yourself to first give me this proof of concept? If you have an app, have you launched your app and people are using it and you are then coming to me and saying, look, this thing works, right? Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. The best thing about that is, if your product is going to fail, you'll fail very quickly. Good is better for everyone, right? The benefit about investments is capital goes to good businesses and very quickly kills bad businesses, right? That's what you need in this economy. You need to very quickly kill bad businesses, right? We're not serving a purpose, there's no alignment. But The capital that is there for good businesses is always there, but you have to validate your concept. Then the third, make sure you're a salesman. People don't get capital here because they can't sell. Even for us, our CEO always tells us that the office is first a sales office. Then it's secondly a place for you guys to sit and do your work. So sell your story, because if you can't sell your story yourself, no one will sell it for you. The world doesn't owe you any favors. Focus on a team. People like to see a team. They want to see a team with complementary skill sets. But if you can't sell your business to start with in a very simple way, like today, if I ask you, what is Founders Breakfast? In one line, you will tell me it's a platform where interested parties can come to learn and startups can come to engage. That's it. That's all I need to know. Now I've understood your concept. Now the rest is details, right? Which we will come to at some point in the future. But if you now start telling me around, oh, you know, we bring people for breakfast at Lord Errol, yeah, then they start at 9. Now I don't care, right? Right? That's the details. The best entrepreneur is that guy who grew up in shags, had to work his way all the way to the top by hustling. Because now you know that guy has nothing left in this world if this thing doesn't work. So you know when you sleep, that guy is going to be working to make sure your money is also working. So those are the type of people that investors like. I agree with you on one point which you made. It's definitely how well you present yourself, but it's really how well do you understand your product and what do you want to do with the investor's money.
Now, you mentioned about financial books, so I really want us to talk in depth a little bit about that. Let's talk about things that business. I am a business. What do I need to tidy up? Let's talk about financial books, probably legal matters and my tax affairs, so that I can welcome you on board. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so look, not everything has to be in place.
Okay.
There's going to come a point when you're going to have to put your house in order. The earlier you start, the better. You don't have to have complicated accounts. As long as you can demonstrate that my bookkeeping is tidy, I've done business in an ethical manner, because it will reflect, because investors will do due diligence. The tax side, as much as possible, work towards compliance. It's very, very important. And you know, your business plan, all of the rest, it can come. It can be built. Someone will also help you build it. But your job is first and foremost to sell your business, right? It's not saying that you shouldn't do anything, right? But no one, first, you know, people don't say, oh, Founders Breakfast is a great idea. But let me see their financials first. They first say it's a great idea. Then they say, okay, now I'm interested to invest. Now let me see their books. By that time, you have them in the room. Then you sit with someone and you tell them, look, and by the way, my books are not in order, but I can get them in order. By that time, even the guy sitting on the other end of the table has gone through the same experience you have gone through himself. So he knows. And then don't bullshit them, right? Don't tell them, oh yeah, all my things are in order, I have everything in a data room, all the information you need I can provide for you in one day, because you won't, right? So there's definitely a mismatch between what startups think investors want and what investors actually want. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the entrepreneurs, for example, in the room. And I know we've all started businesses, and it's our businesses, it's our babies. You know, it's probably something we are very careful about, somebody coming in, but we still do want an investor. What should we be looking out for, especially when it comes to hidden agendas from the investor? Because we're thinking probably if they come, they're going to change the whole way I do my business. What should I be aware of or worried about?
Yeah, that's a very, very valid question. You have to find an investor that's right for you. You could find an investor who within 5 years or 3 years wants to exit, but yet you're a business that knows I need 7 to 8 years of capital before I can leave. There are some investors who will be very comfortable taking a 25% stake, a 30% stake, but there are some who will say, hang on, I only want to be there if I can take 50 plus 1. And there's a place for both, but it depends on you and the type of business you are in. But sometimes it's just as easy as sitting with an investor and saying, what do you want from my business, right? Because he needs you as much as you need him, right? Investors are sitting on pools of capital, because if you know how the fundraising process works typically for private equity funds, they raise capital over 2 years, they have another 2 years to deploy, and then they have 5 years to exit, right? So ask the investor, where are you in your fundraising cycle, right?
You can ask that?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, you know, the thing is, people start to panic and say, oh my God, an investor's in the room. But even the investor is probably thinking, oh my God, I hope this guy can take my capital, right? So first get rid of the perception that, how do I explain? Yeah, the small person. Don't be the big, don't try to overpower yourself, because then an investor will turn around and say, this guy is too headstrong, he's not going to listen, right? But ask the investor, what are you looking for in my business? You are seated here, right, with me. Obviously, I need you, but you're not wasting your time seated here with me. So what do you want from my business? Or if I bring you into my business, where are we going to go together? So see if you share visions. Then, a lot of the times, a good question to ask is, things are good now, my business is growing. When things get rough, because markets turn, businesses turn, competition changes, the landscape changes, how are we going to deal with things when they become bad? Because inevitably, things get difficult. So are you going to have an investor who says, oh no, at that point in time, now I want my capital and I want to go? Or are you going to have someone who will say, okay, seas are a bit rough, I'll get off the boat and swim with you, right? And it's fine to have that engagement. It's absolutely fine. In fact, if you don't, you are the stupid one, because now you don't know the guy's agenda, but he knows everything about your agenda. But sometimes it's not the right capital for you. So at that point in time, okay, not married, but think like getting the right life partner can either mess you up or take you somewhere, right? Same thing like an investor, because you're basically getting into bed with this guy. At least know what he's like, right? Before you bring them into your problems. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens if you really cannot make money for this investor? What happens when the deal has gone through, but then now it's 1 year, it's 2 years, and you cannot make money?
It depends why you can't make money. Firstly, now the investor's in the boat with you, right? They're not magically sitting somewhere else and expecting you to deliver returns. Like even for us, by the time we're investing in a business, now we're there with you. So if you're not making money, I'm also not making money.